Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Morning Tapes podcast. My name is Matthew Fontaine, and I hope you are having or had a great morning today. Unfortunate news today. I think I'm feeling a little bit sick. Nose a little stuffy, throat's a little scratchy. And, so apologies in advance if you can't really understand me. Hopefully you can, because it'll be 20 minutes wasted of my time. Well, I guess of our time, because now you had to listen to this. We're going to do a little bit different formatting this episode. Instead of doing the news and then talking about Font Films for, a very annoying amount of time, we're just going to briefly jump over Font Films, talk about the weekly update, any updates to the channel, and then we will be talking about the news, and then we will be discussing the big talk for today, because it's not Gone Awry, because there's not a huge update from last week, but we're going to jump right into it, actually. As of right now, Gone Awry is still in its production phase. We do have a lot more footage than what we did in the previous episode, because this past Sunday, we did a very long shoot, or we had a very long day, because we recorded a lot. I recorded with the Rosenay brothers. For those of you who don't know, a couple episodes ago, I announced the cast of the film, which was my old roommate from college and his brother, who are both actors. They're very talented. Like I said, we spent many hours filming the project in their scenes, but what we got done is incredible. We completely wrapped Harry Rosenay's character. If you don't know what that means, that just means that we completed all the scenes that he was in, so he does not need to be in front of the camera anymore, because his character's just done. And I'm about 99% done with Ian's character. The only, that last percentage is just because I need some more inserts and more cutaways that I think the film would benefit if we added them. So, with the coming days, I think I'm just going to do that. Contact Ian and be like, hey, let's meet up. We need to do these inserts. I'm going to annoy him for a couple more, hopefully not a couple more hours, hopefully 10 minutes, because I'm not trying to make this as long, big deal. It's already spent so many hours filming this. It's kind of ridiculous, but they probably spent less time filming Avengers Endgame than I'm spending on Gone Awry. But with the footage that we have gathered so far, I'm absolutely in love with how it's coming along so far. The scenes that I have shown to people, like my friends and family, they all absolutely love it, and I'm very excited to get it out there. We're using different kinds of props on set that we are utilizing, and they're definitely benefiting the film 100%. It's my first time directing and I guess writing a big, well, not a big, it's obviously it's not like a feature length film. It's a short, short film, but it's still a very big project that I'm working on, and I am very proud of it. So make sure to go check it out. I'm also currently working on the trailer for the film, trying to get that released on Thanksgiving morning, because Thanksgiving evening, the same day, or Thanksgiving afternoon, I guess, the Disney vlog is, that's coming out as well. We've been editing the Disney vlog for a while. It's coming along pretty good. I'm very proud of it. And yeah, gonna have that out to you guys Thanksgiving afternoon. I think we're gonna end up editing this video podcast. Oh my God. I think we're gonna end up editing this podcast a lot, because I still can't talk that well. But I'm trying to make it a little bit easier on myself. So I'm going to lock in. Here we go. Let's talk about the news. For this week, we're coming up on the release of Wicked for Good. This is, of course, a sequel to the smash hit Wicked, which released last year. Reviews have already came in with a 72% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb. I say IMDb is a more reliable source. If you don't know, IMDb is basically like a website or app. I think it's an app now, where people who watch film, it's kind of just like, it's just more reliable of what an audience thinks of it, instead of Rotten Tomatoes, which is, I think, more like critics based. But this 72% of Rotten Tomatoes is kind of scaring some people when it's compared to the first Wicked movie with an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. That can obviously change. That 72 can either raise or go low. We'll see. I'll still be seeing Wicked. I did enjoy the first one. I'm actually wondering if we're going to see the same audience reactions for this film with many people singing in the audience, singing to the songs. If you don't remember last year for the first Wicked movie, the audience was singing through the showings because I don't know why they thought that was appropriate and cool. They're really awesome for doing that, to the point where they needed to make their own showings for just like sing-alongs. Hopefully they do the same thing, because I'm really not trying to have my entire theater audience just be singing along when I'm trying to just watch the movie. All right, I'm going to stop ranting about Wicked. Probably going to talk about it next week just to see how it did. But let's move on to the next film, which is Amazon MGM Studios' Project Hail Mary. I am actually very excited to watch this film. I've ever since the first trailer came out, I've been pretty much hooked on it. The film is based off the novel with the same title as the film, Project Hail Mary, which is written by author Andy Weir, who is the same creator of The Martian, which also received a film adaptation a few years ago. After seeing the incredibly positive turnout of the Martian movie, I'm actually very excited to see how this one does. It does share some common themes with a man being sent to space to complete a mission. That's pretty much it. Kind of take back the sentence I just said, because this one dives a lot more into aliens and extraterrestrial beings. It looks more comedic than Martian, 100%. I will say this. It looks incredibly beautiful. I don't know if I said it, but the second trailer just came out like yesterday. The cinematography is amazing. I actually have a note here. The cinematographer is Greg Fraser, who has a decent amount of credits, actually. He has worked on films such as Dune, The Batman, as well as the upcoming Batman sequel, which is currently in the works with DC. But yeah, I'm very excited to watch Project Hail Mary. I love Ryan Gosling. I think he's a very talented actor. I love La La Land. And I actually told him that when I reached out to him the other day to see if he would like to play the lead role on my next film, which is releasing in 2046. So look out for that, Faw Films. Yeah, just keep an eye out for that, guys. Moving on, the first reviews for the next Knives Out film are out now. Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery, received a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 7.9 out of 10 on IMDb. Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery, releases in select theaters on November 26th and then releasing on Netflix a few weeks later on December 12th. I like the fact that Netflix is having their movies released in theaters. However, I just wish that they weren't in select theaters. I wish that they were able to just have a wider reach to more theaters with their films, but maybe we'll see that down the line. Anyways, now that I spent so much time talking about Faw Films and the news, let's talk about the main discussion of this episode. As of the time of recording this episode, yesterday, Disney has released the first teaser of their live-action Moana film. Here's my personal opinion on it. I love Moana, and of course I am excited for this. I do love Disney, but I just don't necessarily see the reasoning on why they would make a live-action film based off an animated film which they made not even 10 years ago. It just feels a little unnecessary, just because I feel like live-action films usually work best for them if they are like the classics, which we've seen with Snow White, we've seen with Pinocchio, even though that one did bad. That's a bad example, actually. But we've seen it with Mulan, with Aladdin. All of those are like very Disney originals, which they have remade into live actions, which I do love. But with this, it's just a little bit different because Moana isn't an old movie. I don't know. It just seems not necessarily rushed, but just unnecessary, if that makes sense. That's how I see it, in my personal opinion. But 2 years ago, Disney had announced the project was being made, with Dwayne Johnson hosting a very short video. In this video, he discussed the film and his excitement for the project. He also explained how he, as well as his team of animators, had based the Maui character after his grandfather. From what I've seen from the trailer, it doesn't look bad at all. It actually looks amazing. I'm just scared because it's been a trend recently where Disney's live-action films don't necessarily do that well in the box office. This might be a hot take, but I actually did enjoy Mufasa, The Lion King. I don't really understand the hate of that. I actually enjoyed the brother song that everyone makes fun of. I did not watch the live-action Snow White film. I heard awful things about it, and I just wasn't really interested in it. And I also thought I heard some rumors that this project was like being canceled or put on pause or temporary pause due to the sheer amount of negative reactions towards the live-action Snow White film. However, Disney's infinite amount of money, they don't really give two flying fucks about it, so they're just going to make whatever they want. Live-action movies have been able to be successful in the past. We've seen this with How to Train Your Dragon being the best example. That was an incredibly well live-action adaptation from its original animated film. But Disney, I don't know, they haven't had the best history of making live-action films. As of right now, it is not confirmed that Disney will be making a live-action for the second Moana film. It looks like it's just going to be an adaptation for the first film released in 2016, which I do feel like should absolutely stay that way. I do not want them to, animate these films and then 3 years later make a live action remake. Because why? I don't understand. That just doesn't make sense to me. I don't see why you would do that. Let's just briefly talk about the cast real quick. Catherine Legaya will be the actress for the Moana character, and Dwayne Johnson will be reprising his character as Maui in the live-action film. Like I said, the movie looks amazing. That's not necessarily what I'm worried about. It's not the looks. It's just how they managed to do it. I understand that it's awesome to see these animated films in a realistic environment, but I know I said it before. I know I'm like a broken record. It just feels unnecessary. The film really, I guess, technically released almost 10 years ago when the film does eventually release. But still, I feel like they should have given it more time. But I am excited for it. I do want Disney to succeed. Even if it doesn't end up being that good of a film, I don't really think Disney cares that much because they'll still make money from it. I just thought about this right now, actually. I'm just putting a brief pause on my wrap-up of this episode. How are they going to do the crab? Like that entire segment of the Shiny song? How are they going to do that? Hopefully that doesn't look goofy. That might look goofy. Let me look at the budget of this real quick. Moana live action budget. Around $150 million. Wow. That crab better look amazing, dude. I don't know what to say. Anyways, let's wrap it up. What do you guys think of the live action Moana movie? Are you excited for it? Do you not care? Let me know in the comments down below if you're listening on to YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure you subscribe to the Font Films YouTube channel. I appreciate the support, always. So thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Morning Tapes podcast. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you tune into next week's episode where I discuss some of the best Thanksgiving movies. We're going to be talking about that scary one from last year or a couple years ago. I don't know when that came out. I should probably know when that came out. It doesn't matter though. Keep this in. I'm not editing it. We're done editing. Thank you guys. I will talk to you guys next week. Bye guys.